licking me!
Yeah.
We are live.
Yeah, and we're live. Stop licking me! Words that nobody's ever said. I need a link.
Oh, yeah, shit. Sorry.
Send me a link. Oh, no, I don't need the link.
Well, you...
No, because I don't want to be in it, because I can't see the...
It says you're live now. I just got the notification.
Oh, we've got one viewer. Here.
7 thumbs up. How do we have 7 thumbs up for one viewer?
Just for the invite.
Oh, okay.
Copy the clipboard.
Why doesn't it give me it doesn't give me a notification or anything?
I don't know.
A notification.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. We are just trying to get started here and we're running a little bit behind.
Shocker.
Yeah. Of course, the first time we do it together, we're running behind.
Forever.
It's Chris's fault yet again. And my computer had to update.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure if we have a special guest today or not.
Let me double check.
Oh, come on. I hate updating my computer because it takes forever once you restart it. It's not responding, so I don't even know if we're videoing right now.
Oh, okay. You may have cut out.
I don't know because I can't get back to the other tab. We are technological wizards.
Something like that.
We may. I don't even know if we can.
I've got the gray in my beard.
Yeah,
I'll be your
definitely.
I'll be your Gandalf.
This is perfect for Father's Day weekend.
Yeah. Bunch of dads trying to work electronics. Where's the remote? Why is the remote not working?
Well, I'm gonna go. Maybe we can see it.
How do you? What the fuck? I can't see it. I'm trying to. Let's see.
That's weird. We're getting.
Oh, you got like.
I think we have
closed
closed captioning now.
for the hearing impaired. Do you have it set that way?
I don't know. I've never seen that before. We can't see our screen right now, so bear with us, guys. I'm also on like a 10-second delay on my phone.
I can't see.
It's weird. It's
Okay.
doing like
I can't find it.
closed captioning.
Where do I go?
You don't have to. Well, you should. Did you not hit set reminder?
No. I couldn't even. It didn't. No.
Well, they're all watching us, but we can't see us on the screen, so now we don't know how.
What's happening? Why is it doing that?
I don't know.
You didn't try.
My screen is like totally messed. And we're like, I don't know,
Yeah.
at least 20-30 seconds delay on what I'm seeing on my
Yeah.
phone.
You
Sorry,
gonna-
guys.
we're not
Please
6
bear
feet
with
apart?
us. Yeah, we're not 6 feet apart, but we are cohort families.
That's right. Is it cohort or cohabbing?
Cohort.
It sounds wrong either way.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I know. It's a reptile thing. It's a hot button for reptile people.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We are having problems here. Oh, hold on. There we go. Oh, look at that. We can see ourselves now.
Hey!
We are also still having problems with our guest for today because he hasn't responded to the invite. So I'm not sure if this is just going to be me and Chris drinking or if he will be joining us. He is in California, and we maybe should have been more clear that this is supposed to be 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that may be an issue.
Seriously, why can I not? It doesn't even pop up or anything.
Here, give me your phone. All right. Well, how's everybody doing tonight? Let's get some comments going here, and we can talk about things.
Yeah.
We again have
things
and stuff.
Yeah.
Here, give me your phone. Here. Well, I'm gonna see if I can find
Oh,
it.
this weird cock ring in the back of your thing. This is weird.
Yes, very
Yes.
weird.
Hey, Tanya. See, it's nice to see you guys together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? In the meantime, while we are waiting for our special guest, does anybody have any questions or?
I think it's been it's been over 2 years since we started filming now. We've been keeping busy in the shop, mostly Chris and Dylan. I'm not there from day to day. But it's been crazy busy at the shop. Thanks for all the support from everybody. And it's been quite the spring and summer so far.
Oh, that's weird. So they're seeing closed captions on stuff it would be stuff that we had said probably like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, it's probably delayed. It's weird because we're not seeing it on our screen right now, but on the feed that I have going on my phone, it is.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay,
We're making wine time more entertaining.
Who said that?
Katie Kamen.
Well, cheers to that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Maybe not wine, but we are drinking
some apple juice. I think it went bad. It looks a little dark.
Yeah. That's weird that it's not showing up on your phone.
It's repeating comments as well.
Yeah.
Weird. So is everybody else seeing closed caption? Because looking on the computer, we don't see it, but on Greg's phone, I see it.
And it's like 30 seconds behind at least.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you guys see the
closed caption?
See the closed captioning like way behind?
Yeah, it's really lagging.
So like the video is still like.
No, it's all behind. Like you can hear yourself talking on my phone right
now.
Yeah.
About other things.
That's so weird.
That's like 2 minutes ago. What's that?
I'm not sure what's going on.
What's happening? So Pete says no close. So apparently people on computers aren't seeing it. It's just phones.
Huh, that's weird.
And some phones.
I wonder if there's a settings.
Garth Pater.
This is like brand.
Top number one fan, Garth Pater.
It's like, oh wow.
Top fan. He's got a badge. Give that man a badge.
Everybody else needs badges.
Yeah.
Is there? I'm just wondering if we can disable it.
Yeah. This is just going to be, what is this?
Oh.
Thanks. I don't know what it is.
Oh, thank you. Cheers to Friday.
Friday.
Oh, that wasn't a nice shot.
That was all right.
No, no more.
There's for you.
No.
Yeah.
Well, what are we gonna do here?
In a minute.
Tap the screen from your phone. Dots will pop up in the corner, and click them and hit closed captioning. We're doing this through a different. We're not doing it through Facebook. We're doing it through a different platform. So we're doing it on the computer. So I don't think that applies necessarily for this. And we don't see it on our screen at all.
Yeah, it's weird. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ryan, Chris, whatever your name is. My pirate friend. Arr. Yeah, so I guess here, I'll see if I can get mine going. You can hold yours.
That sounded really dirty.
I know. Everything we say sounds dirty.
The first time we're together and you're already talking dirty.
Yeah, I'm already talking about holding yours. Yeah. One hand.
We don't have the show weekends anymore. It gets lonely.
No, you're not wrong. Okay. Why can I not find the video?
I don't know. It's weird because
Yeah.
I feel like you need to restart your phone.
I don't think I do.
It works for the computer.
Plug it in. Yeah. Unplug it and plug it back in. Look, there's Greg with a crock. There's Brent with the bunghole.
I've been going through photos lately, just looking for more content for social media. So I've been going through all the pictures from filming lately for those who haven't seen it, posted on Instagram and Facebook. But man, we had a lot of memories during that 4-month time period. It was so much fun to
See, this might be affecting.
film.
I'm looking for it and I can't find it. So there's probably people that can't get in there because they can't find it either.
I don't know. I mean, we've got
feel like
16 people.
I know, but I'm telling
Those
you,
16 people must have set their reminders.
probably.
Christopher.
Know that I had to do that. I thought it would just pop up.
Here, hold on. Let me.
Why is it not just popping up on my thing?
That also sounded dirty.
Yeah.
Let's see if
There's just stuff popping up all over.
Okay, so
Oh, so they can turn off closed captions themselves. So
oh, they can do it
Yeah.
themselves.
So you probably got it set yourself.
maybe because I'm hearing impaired.
Yeah. There's an impairment for sure. I'm not sure what it is.
There's some, definitely some
Multiple.
impairment. Okay, so
Okay.
how do I share this?
Videos. Oh wait, is that? Maybe if I go to videos.
Sorry, guys. It's like we've never done this before.
I know. Oh, here we go.
You
Oh, it
found
was there. Now it's gone away. There we go. Okay, now can I see? Oh. Turn the volume off.
Shows 19
Perfect.
on mine, and everything seems
There we
normal.
go. Now I can see.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, mine's got closed captioning too.
3 dots.
If I click on that.
Oh, I see the 3 dots. So it must be a new thing that they've added. Turn on comment translation. No. No, I don't have. You are wrong, Ashley.
On our next episode of Old Guys Trying to Work Phones.
We've got a new TV show in the works. You guys should join in.
Old
It'll be
guys
amazing.
trying to stream stuff live. There we go. So everybody else it's working fine for others.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. And sorry for the delay getting started. I feel like we likely aren't going to have a special guest tonight, which is too bad. We were kind of rushing to get home here, and unfortunately, we didn't touch base with him earlier to make sure he is still coming on. But we're here for a little bit. What do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, how's everybody's breeding season going along, or egg laying season, or whatever you want to call it? And where did I had the video up and I lost it.
He hasn't read. No, he hasn't read my messages, so
Mine. I feel like he thinks it's in an hour.
that would be my guess as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we should have thought that one out better.
Well, I know he said, and I know before I mentioned it, but I didn't mention it recently. And I know he's a busy guy and has a lot of stuff on the go. So, actually, what would you guys like to see for future lives? Would be something to bring up.
Yeah, we had actually, for this one anyways, we had actually planned, because we were going to do it together, we were going to do it at the shop. And then we had the potential of showing off our reptiles at the shop. But we thought we had a special guest and didn't need to. And being Friday, I didn't want to be at the shop till like 8 or 9 p.m.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe in the future we'll plan for that, just as kind of a backup plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, you just get to look at us ugly mugs for however long we keep this going for.
Yeah. I feel like he's going to pop on here. Well, it's going to happen. I have faith.
Hopefully, he hasn't read my messages.
More shots.
Cheers to last minute screw ups.
All right. Thank you.
And early nights.
Yeah.
Probably not.
No. Yeah. So
we drink apple juice from horns.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, as far as COVID goes, has it affected anybody else out there's plans like for their collection or for breeding or any of that kind of stuff? Like for me personally, it hasn't really affected anything. I don't have people coming over to look at my stuff anyway. So yeah, I guess if you had more of a facility.
Yeah, but like last year, when we thought that we were going to be filming, I know you had scaled back for breeding plans because you didn't know that you'd be there. But that not being in play this year, I'm assuming you had just kind of went back to normal.
Sort of. I'd kind of tempered it a bit just in case because we weren't sure what was going on. But and same thing with we didn't know about. Well, I mean, it wasn't until March that we started learning about the COVID stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah. See, Terry didn't pair just because of uncertainty of expos.
Yeah,
that's definitely been a concern too. I guess so. How have sales been for somebody like you, Terry?
What were in our shots? Katie Kamen would like to know.
What were in our shots? Apple juice.
Apple juice, thinly disguised as spiced rum. Or no, I said that wrong, didn't I?
I don't think that was spiced rum.
That was spiced rum, wasn't it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's apple juice.
Yeah.
Spiced rum.
It was
Spice rum flavored apple juice.
pirate apple juice is what it was. But yeah, hey, actually, hey Terry, are you near your animals at all?
Yeah.
We could zip you in here if you want to show off a few of your animals.
Or Chris/Ryan.
Yeah. We've got some open forum here on
seeing
folks.
as how you're internet famous with all your podcasts you've been doing lately.
Mr. Podcast. Yeah, so there's some good info actually ripping up here now too. So
yeah,
again, yeah, because of the Uncertainty Expos, that was definitely a bit of a thought of mine too as it progressed and COVID stuff started happening. It was definitely didn't put too much effort into trying to keep stuff together at that point. Yeah, and Terry mentioned that a lot of people are really focusing on the collections. We've noticed a lot of people upgrading their habitats, accessories were flying out the door.
Yeah,
for a long time there.
It's actually I want to touch on that a little bit. That's one funny thing with COVID is our sales have been up, but we did notice that a lot of the weird stuff that we don't typically sell was actually moving, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was enrichment items like all the mosses and substrates and hides and things like that. So definitely was happy to see that. But I think you're right, Chris or Ryan. I never know which name to say.
We're just gonna call you Chris to make it clear.
Chris Ryan. That I think a lot of people are focusing. They're being home more and they're wanting to enjoy their reptiles and wanting to set them up more naturalistically, which is nice.
Yeah, there's nothing like sitting at home for long periods of time to go, you know what, I probably should do a little more with that, or make it more of a centerpiece or enrich the habitat for your animals. You see a lot of people doing that, so it's cool to see. The Arcadia stuff has been selling well too. Apparently there's a lot of shortages in the US, and we've been selling a lot of that to the United States. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
Which has been really,
yeah, we've been getting a lot of US orders, which is interesting, but a lot of it is just supplies, and I think it's just because of shortages. And luckily we have stuff in stock, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and I know, a lot of people just started buying stuff up. They're sitting at home. They weren't going out. They weren't driving to work, so they were actually saving some money, which seems weird and counterproductive, but that seems to be the case.
So nobody commented if they wanted to come on the live.
Yeah. Well, Kristen mentioned too that having to cancel their show was a rough hit. That's gotta suck.
Yeah. Which show was that? Was that the Island?
Yeah, it was the Island.
That's what I thought. It's a tough go out there too, just because it's such a smaller area. I did the one show before and definitely want to get out there again and give it another go. But the show that we went there, a lot of people, I don't know if it just wasn't advertised that well or what, but I mean, there was more vendors than there were patrons coming through the door. It was really bad.
When was that one again? That was a few years ago?
I guess it was 5 or 6 years ago.
6 years ago?
It was a Gecko guy that put the show on, and it was like in a mall parking lot. There was a community building that it was in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the same problem.
Allergic to speaking.
Allergy.
That's weird. You always have lots to say.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Whose house are we in with the skulls in the background? It's my girlfriend Amy's house.
Yeah.
We were facing the other way, but the sun coming through the window was too bright.
Bouncing off my dome.
Yeah.
It was blinding everybody.
Blinding us.
Yeah. Got that big reflector. I'm not sorry.
Maybe next time we'll do it at Tyrone's place and we can actually have skulls in the
Oh, there we go. Real skulls. We'll have the skulls instead of us talking.
Yeah.
With a little stick on the chin.
We need to bring maybe what was it? BBC.
Yeah.
I know,
we keep forgetting about the BBC.
Yeah.
So did anybody get a chance to check out the production version of the Wiener in the Bunghole video that Greg had posted? It was pretty awesome. That's what started all that stuff on that day was Brent, the camera guy, one of the camera guys, dropping the hot dog in the hole in a wine barrel is called a bung hole. So we're like little children.
You can all Google it later, just
Google
so
it
you know
and,
that we're
and
not.
laugh and laugh. So then he started doing that, after in a little break between takes, and then he just kept going higher and higher up the ladder, and then that last one there took probably 15 or 20 tries, and then finally got it. We all cheered.
Yeah, it's funny because that's the only one, the only one that I had recorded, but that probably went on for 20 minutes before.
Oh, you recorded that one?
I recorded.
Oh, I thought that was from Lorraine.
No, I recorded that one.
Okay.
And it's funny because I have another video that I'm going to save for another day to post of that day was so much fun, and everybody was kind of just in their element and acting naturally, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's too bad because our our scene that we filmed of us doing it was even better, and we've never seen the light. We've never seen the clip of that.
No, that's what we definitely want to see.
Yeah.
Jerry, if you're watching, we want it.
Yeah. He's not.
We need it. I know he's not watching. He comments. He used to watch them.
Yeah.
For a little while there, but then we stopped doing them, and Jerry stopped watching. So sorry, Jerry.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear, Chris. Definitely would like to try and get out there again. It's also, I mean, for myself personally, just fitting in more shows is the hard part too. But I guess
timing is always the hardest part.
Their timing's a little bit better, but there's like more kids stuff during like the summer months that I have to worry about. So it makes it a little harder, but we'll see. We'll try and make it if we can't get to a Portland show or something, maybe add a different show.
Yeah. Not that we don't want to go to the Portland shows.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there with our Portland friends that are watching, and we love it down there. That was the tiniest sneeze I've ever heard. And Dylan sneezes like a munchkin.
That literally sounded like Dylan in the background.
That was like girl Dylan. He's a hobbit.
Yeah.
Our little hobbit.
His mom might be watching. She watches our lives.
I know. Hey, Judine. Yeah. That's okay. We like his mom better than him anyway.
Yeah, she's gonna work for us.
Yeah, one day she's gonna run the place. But yeah, so I mean, to touch back on the show canceling thing, that sucks. We had to cancel the Medicine Hat one, and that was crappy because that was going to be our first one there. We were so excited. We had lots of good feedback. We were booked up. We were potentially booking up the other half of the hall. Like, it was a lot of good stuff potentially happening. But I mean, we can't be too bummed about it. Everybody's health and safety is the most important thing. So.
The biggest thing with that is, especially as promoters, we don't know. I mean, the worst thing is putting on a show and not having the people come, like for the vendors. We don't want to look bad as promoters. And there's only so much we can do to ensure people are going to come. And with COVID happening, there's a big worry that we have no control over.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's Medicine Hat sucks. I mean, Red Deer.
Still up in the air.
Still up in the air as of now, but it's not looking good.
No,
but
it's not.
We'll touch base on that shortly, I'm sure, in the next week or so here, in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll have to make some decisions on that because we want to give people enough time to be able to travel and all that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure we're ahead of that. So Joe Birch, you guys ever going to do a CRBE?
I actually did it for 3 or 4 years.
Apparently made a big impression.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My first show there.
In fact, you were right next to Joe Birch, weren't you?
Might have been. His costs are just so high, and then to get out there and the shipping, and then I mean, I pretty much always have to guarantee that I have to ship stuff back. So it's tough. It's a good show, or it used to be. I don't know. I've heard it was kind of not doing so good with having the Pet Expo, and then last year was supposedly a better show. But again, the costs are just so high that it's really hard for a guy like me to make money. And if I'm going to be losing money, it doesn't really make sense to do the show over and over. And I did it for 3 years and maybe broke even one show. So it's too bad. I'd like to get out there again.
Absolutely. If it makes sense, and if talk to Grant.
Yeah.
Grant wants to cover our expenses. We'll be out there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Just saying. Speaking of Grant, we have some stuff coming up there too.
Yeah, I have been meaning to call him all week and
Yeah.
haven't. I don't know. Did you talk to him or did?
No,
Tyrone?
we sort of touched base on some stuff. So, yeah, there's some things in the works as far as people have been talking about virtual expos, which is kind of a tough thing to do. So, kind of refiring up some other avenues for people to sell their animals and show off their animals and stuff. So. We'll see how that.
Marissa's
see
joined
that.
us.
Hey, Marissa.
Yeah, we miss you too.
Yep.
Hopefully you're doing well out there, and hopefully we can get to the fall.
I just tuned in. The first thing I hear is Greg yelling. Yeah. What else is new? Welcome to my life. Yeah.
Usually it's at Chris, though. Well, hopefully we can make it out for the fall expo. If they're able to have a fall expo. I mean, even the fall expos at this point are up in the air for a lot of shows.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's maybe going to be the soonest. And there are probably going to be some smaller fall expos. And
yeah.
Who knows how they're going to go. Although the thing is, so they just opened up some of the bars and pubs and stuff here. And
we haven't supported them at all.
Just going to check a couple of places, there was lineups to get in. So I feel like when the expos do open back up, or when they have bigger groups of people out indoors, I think it's going to be crazy because people are itching for it. So, but we'll see. But yeah, how's it for the August in the WCRE? Again, it's up in the air.
It's up in the air. I mean, the restrictions are still too high to be able to put on a show. But the concern for us is, even if we put on a show, we want it to be beneficial for the vendors as well as the patrons going there. So we're kind of in a tough spot right now.
Because there's usually a lot of advertising that's paid for, like with radio and a bunch of other stuff. And that's usually ahead of the game. So it's getting real tight and close, and we don't want to invest all that money and energy and stuff into it if we're not allowed to do it, first of all. And then if it's just barely allowed, if we haven't been able to do all the prep work and stuff, that we want to make sure that there's people coming in the doors. So if we can't advertise properly, people won't be aware of it or know about it. So that's a concern. So we'll see.
Where are we located? We are in Calgary, Alberta. We're in Amy's house. Where are you, David Lopez?
Yeah. If that's your real name.
That seems like an alias.
Yeah. We'd love to have us create a couple.
I don't know what happened there. Sorry.
Did we accidentally pop out? We're not
Poor
sure.
Amy.
Sorry. Yeah. You're not wrong, Marissa.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you got for reptiles? We would love to build some enclosures for your reptiles, potentially.
In social media posting lately, I'm trying to focus more on kind of the more custom builds that we've been doing. So we are going to be posting a lot more, trying to do a couple posts a day, and focus on the more custom builds, just showing what we can do.
California.
So definitely take a look at those and see if anything is what you're looking for. California, we've done quite a few builds. Well, not quite a few, but we've done a few builds in California. And definitely you are not too far from us, so shipping isn't too bad. So definitely contact us.
Yeah, we've shipped a bunch of stuff down there to California. So, hey, it's D.
D is joining
Holy
us.
smokes, D! We want to have you come on one of these lives, one of these days soon-ish.
Yeah, or if you have reptiles right now, you could show us some of your frogs.
Yeah. And would you like to show us some frogs right now? Not to put you on the spot, but you're totally on the spot.
We don't have our special.
Hey, you guys! And she's like, and logs out.
Yeah, she's already logged out.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep in mind that we have like a 30-second or however long the delay is between what they're seeing and
I know some of the comments and responses and stuff. But it's all good. It's all good. Let's see what time it is.
It is 7:30. So I don't know what happened to him. Did he share your posting? I think he did, didn't he? Yesterday?
Yeah, yes, he did. So hopefully everything's okay.
I'm scratching.
Hopefully everything's okay with him there.
Yeah, he's got a job that keeps him pretty busy, so that
Mhm.
may be why.
No, I'm here. I'm here. You can pop in, D, and when you want to show off some of your awesome progs and some of the cool stuff you're doing there, would be fantastic.
I'm gonna send you a link in case you want
Yes,
to.
and then you can pop in.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, the show definitely showcased what we can do. I would say the majority of the work we do is all PVC, but we do even in the PVC builds that we do focus a fair bit on a lot of custom builds in PVC, which is
Yeah.
nice to do. Not
Oh, for
many
sure.
people do. We just had a delivery of 12 cages today to the Calgary Zoo.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff for the zoo.
We've got a couple custom PVC builds in Calgary here.
Yeah.
We had some incubators going out to Ontario this week. I think we had some stuff that went to Montreal, some other stuff that went to Nevada. So yeah, these guys have been busy pumping stuff out as quick as possible. We did hire a new guy. He's 3 weeks in now, and he's starting to get a little more comfortable. So
Yeah.
I think. Well, yeah. Well, it's 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
But definitely helping with the production side, and our shipping company is definitely loving us right now because there's like daily shipments going out.
Yeah.
Canada Post, unfortunately, has been
Yeah.
dropping the ball, but we're still using them as much as they're being called upon through our website.
And for everyone, thank you so much for your patience. Everyone that ordered cages and racks and incubators, we're doing our best to get those pumped out. Maddie's been picking stuff up really quick, so we're hopefully in the next week or two here going to be able to accelerate and get a lot more stuff out every day and get a little more caught up and bring that lead time back down to, a more typical lead time.
Yeah. I think COVID's starting to wear down maybe a little bit in terms of the ordering. The last couple of days have been a bit quiet.
Yeah.
So that also helps. Like, it was just insane. We never planned for the amount of, like, I would say during May, there was probably 2 to 4 cages being ordered a day, whereas before it was like maybe, every couple days we had a couple cages here and there. So it was like just way more than we had ever expected.
Yeah, no, for sure. And David, so yeah, quotes@cornellsworld.com is the best way to get a hold of us. That's the email that Greg will be the quickest to respond to. As far as working out some kind of builds and stuff for you, depending on your animals and what your budget is and what you're looking for, as far as how high end or all the bells and whistles and stuff that you want in there.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of that, it all comes down to what your budgets will allow. Any of the builds that we did on the show for, what I would consider high end, ranged anywhere from 5,000 to over 40,000. I'm just reading that.
I know. I just saw that while you're talking.
Yeah.
I was gonna leave that for a minute, but
Yeah, I don't know.
what did I say? Yeah.
Oh, we're reversed.
Yeah.
Not a good shirt. Not a good shirt to wear, but
yes, it's a
hopefully
very
the kids are in
family-friendly
bed.
shirt.
We are not doing any more seasons of the show, unfortunately.
Well, we're not doing seasons.
Yes.
We just we would love to do more seasons of the show, but Animal Planet passed on it for now.
Yeah.
So if you have any contacts in the industry, absolutely, we'd be interested in doing more seasons of the show.
We are definitely missing out from doing filming. It's funny because we were so burnt out with the 4 months that we did, but literally a week later and the quietness in the shop, we were like just gung ho to start again. So unfortunately, we don't have the contacts that we need to keep that going, but definitely we'd love to see ourselves like on Netflix or Animal Planet again. If
Apple's got a streaming service, there's so many different ways of going about it. So
unfortunately, we don't have the means to get us a show. We need somebody who's in the film industry or TV industry.
The benefit is we did do a season that was shown globally, like 194, 195 countries in the world, pretty much every country in the world through Animal Planet. So there's a built-in sort of fan base there to build from. So I would think it would be enticing for someone. But as far as the builds and stuff go too, like we love doing some of those fancier builds. Those have been a lot of fun to do. We've done some stuff with Zoopoxy. We did a whole bunch of, we did some, there was the Dino build. We did the Jurassic build. We did a few of those. We did some stuff for the TELUS Spark Center, the Science Center up in Edmonton for sugar gliders. We built some cool vines. A lot of stuff that was really fun. So there's a lot of stuff we can do that to enrich some of these habitats and to really build them up to look really cool and fancy. So we're open to it. We'd love to do more of those. It just comes up to whatever people's budgets are, and
No, it was crazy. Even leading up, I mean, it was down to the wire of getting renewed. It seemed I had to extend our contract by 30 days because they were in negotiations, and unfortunately, it didn't pan out. But they wanted us. We talked to them after the fact, and they wanted to keep the door open, but it just what their plan was moving forward was more animal focused, and all their build shows got canceled, not just ours. So it was unfortunate, but them's the breaks in the TV industry, and I mean, we were lucky to have one season, and we had always told ourselves, as far as we went through the process, whatever we get, we got to be happy with. But it sure sucked when we got told that it wasn't going to keep going.
When you finally see it, because you have no idea when you're doing it what it's going to look like at the end. So you go through all this stuff, and it's crazy hours, and massive amounts of stress and everything. And then when it's there we go, Mr. Hill's commenting. So no, I totally lost my train of thought. What were you saying?
We were talking about the show getting canceled.
Oh yeah. I can't remember what the hell I was talking about.
I just David, on your last comment, you criminal justice teacher, local high school. We did actually a big build in Petaluma, California, at the they have a museum that's part of the teaching curriculum there, or the school curriculum there. I don't know if you have seen it, but the museum was really cool, and they've got a reptile aspect of it, and that was a really cool build to be part of.
He thought the time zones worked the other way. Which I kind of had a feeling was the case.
So what's his plan?
He's popping on. He wants to jump on. So let's bring it.
Okay, so send him. Well, I sent him tell him I sent the link through Facebook. He hasn't seen it yet. So we will have a special guest tonight. It's just running a little bit late. I used to watch Animal Planet all the time. Now I don't have any shows I like with what they have now. It's weird because when we got canceled, there was just a change of direction. But I do know that this year they've actually changed, not ownership, but
the person running it. So Susan Dinage was running it. Apparently she was a big fan of the show, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then there was right when the show was airing, she was poached by Major League Soccer, MLS or whatever it is, the Euro League, or I'm not a European football fan, so I'm sorry. Anyway, the Premier League or whatever, the British Premier League or whatever it is, she was supposed to run that, and then she went back to Animal Planet, and then now she's gone again, and there's somebody
Yeah.
else running it. So,
Yeah. Anyways, like I do know that.
you do look weirdly respectable.
Uh-huh. Look at us being professional.
I know. Yeah. No.
No.
Respectable in what sense?
There is other shows that people are probably waiting on. I'm not going to say anything about which shows, but we do know of some other shows that didn't get renewed. So there, I mean, even more changes have happened since we didn't get renewed, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But who knows? Fingers crossed. Maybe streaming service, maybe Nat Geo, maybe Animal Planet. I mean, we're open to
Hey, whatever. Doesn't matter.
We're suckers for being on TV, so
Yeah.
I think we're open to just about anything.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but yeah, what I was touching on was it's strange because when you're doing it, you have no idea what it's going to look like, and then when you finally see it at the end, we're done. And then it's a point of you know what it's going to finally look like. It's like, oh man, I wish we would have done this differently, or I would so do that differently, or I'd be more energetic when I'm talking about this, or whatever. But that opportunity is gone.
We have a special guest.
Yo.
Hey, Jason.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Good. Do I sound okay? I'm just on my phone right now, so I don't know if there's like an echo or anything.
Yeah, you've got like a weird American accent, though.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk Can you talk Canadian?
I don't know what you're talking about. I might be
Uh-huh.
What's up? What's going on?
Did it take you 40 minutes to change into Miguel's T-shirt?
No. So the funny thing is I was actually cleaning snakes, and my wife was just in here, and we were getting down. I've got a little trash bin right here, and I went to check on my phone to snap some pictures of some of the stuff because I was, you go through your collection, you clean everything, you go, oh crap, that snake looks really good right now. I want to take a picture. And then I saw the messages, and I'm all jacked up. I got the times mixed up and stuff, so that's my bad. My apologies.
All good, buddy. It's good to see you, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, you too.
So how's COVID been treating you? Are you changing any breeding plans or full steam ahead?
No, everything's full steam ahead. Everything's going really good. I'm gonna turn this AC off real quick. Everything's going really good. All the stuff that I had planned to breed this year is either going or not going for its own reasons. Most of it's going, and so far everything's good. All ball pythons, but all the ball pythons that we planned on breeding and everything are going well. Everything's going good. I got a lot of awesome pie projects coming up and stuff that I've been waiting a couple years to get into. So I'm excited.
Nice. That's awesome. So take us through the beginning. Let's start from the beginning. So what got you into the reptile hobby?
Man, I think for me it's a similar situation as a lot of other people, where basically I as a kid I always had reptiles, always found snakes, always caught snakes. I live in like the Mojave Desert area of California, so basically there's rattlesnakes out here, gopher snakes out here, tons of wildlife and all sorts of stuff. And then when I started getting into reptiles as a hobby, I had iguanas in the 90s. I had tokay geckos because those were cool, I guess, even though they always bit the crap out of you. What else did I had? I had a tarantula. I just always had pets. And then as I got older, it turned into I had a chameleon at one point, a tegu at one point, and then I basically kind of got rid of everything or got away from everything. And then the funny thing is I started seeing tarantulas again, and I got all these tarantulas, and I just thought these tarantulas were so cool and whatnot. And basically what happened is I realized tarantulas are super hard to breed because they usually end up killing each other. And I always had this dream snake of a green tree python or an emerald tree boa. They were always like my dream snake. And finally, I kind of started making more money and becoming more of an adult, and I decided to pull the trigger. And,
What's that like?
I was just gonna say, what's that like being an adult? Yeah, an adult.
Yeah. I think I just got to a point where I was like, you know what? I could freaking do this thing that I've always wanted to do my whole life and get into, you know, a really cool freaking snake like a green tree python. And that was actually my first snake. The first snake I ever owned was this big green tree python that I have right here, this girl.
Nice.
And that was the first. I just decided to dive right in and get into that, and I got her set up, and then one thing led to another. And the funny thing is the green tree python is what got me into ball pythons. Usually it'd be like the other way
The
around.
opposite.
Yeah, that's crazy.
People got, you know, like the ball pythons and want to go a little more exotic and get into green trees. For me, it was like I wanted that awesome green tree. And then when I started seeing the ball pythons and all the morphs and all the different colors that they come in and stuff like that, that is what just shot this whole thing off into space. You know what I mean? Like the different ball python morph colors, pieds. I think it was a pastel highway, dreamsicle, and then like that urban camo morph that what's his name? I think it's Osborne, something Osborne.
Brandon?
And it's just those
Brandon
guys.
Osborne?
Yeah. What's that?
Brandon Osborne?
Yeah. He had that sandblast gene and made all those urban camo combos. And even
Right.
though I don't have sandblast, I just thought it was so cool to see that on a snake, and that just got me into ball pythons. And now, I don't know. It's like I think my collection's at like 60 snakes, and I've got a handful of different species, and then there's all the geckos and everything else. So it's like a full blown.
I got a question for you to circle back to the tarantulas. Was that wild tarantulas out like in the desert where you live, or was that you buying them and collecting different species?
No, that was buying and collecting. That was I don't know, like between old and new world different species. I don't know if you know anything about tarantulas, but there's
Very little.
I have one.
Yeah.
Does it live on the ground or does it live in the tree or in
Lives on the ground.
He's got a Brazilian black.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, tarantulas are crazy because there's two different kinds, and one group primarily lives on the ground, and they're slow moving, and they do that little thing where they flick the hairs off their ass, and that's what kind of chews you away.
Urticating hairs, whatever you call it. They shoot them. Yeah.
Well, the other kind are really fast, and they bite the crap out of you, and when they do, it's a really potent venom, and those are really awesome to keep, and they're super cool colors, like those the sapphire ones. I just know them by the scientific name, but the P Metallica ones that are real purple with the yellow spots. Stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody loves those ones. The
Yeah.
super metallic blue and purple ones.
Yeah, I had a bunch of different kinds, all different species, and I don't know, I didn't really see it going anywhere. Where the snakes, I see it going somewhere, you know, breeding, refunding the projects, getting different things. Snakes not necessarily eating each other like tarantulas would, so
Yeah.
that's a plus.
Yeah.
Well, I think for like the vendors at least that we deal with out here for like arachnids and that sort of thing, a lot of them are still mostly like wild caught and importing them in versus captive bred. So you know, if you're trying to get into the hobby, it's really hard to compete against that, which I think you're on the right track for sure. Ball pythons obviously is where everybody's at right now, and the morphs and everything that you guys can create is just mind blowing. You know, bearded dragons kind of did the same thing, but not on the same level where you're talking like triple, quadruple. Like I don't even know how many genes go into these ball pythons. Oh god.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we have some. It's too bad you don't have these, but cheers and thanks for coming on. We're drinking from horns, as Canadians do.
Here, I
Oh, there we go.
have a little something. Hold on.
What do you got?
It's got a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
So, the mountains are blue.
Oh, there we go. Attaboy. It's nice and cold. Mountains are blue.
Cheers,
buddy.
Thanks for joining us. It's too bad we're not doing this in person, but
Yeah.
hopefully we can in the future.
Yeah, of course, man, for sure.
How many snakes have you got? Ballpark, if you.
Shoot.
Behind, so.
I think I just lost.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, there we
It
go.
was us.
Are we back?
We're up and running. Chris, you might as well.
Sorry. Yeah. So, your collection. What ballpark or what have you got, numbers wise?
So I think in total I probably have about 60 snakes on deck, and
Okay.
that consists mostly of ball pythons. I've got a pair of green tree pythons. I've got a pair of carpet pythons. In fact, this girl is like one of my little like ambassador snakes here. She's probably gonna freaking bite the crap out of me, but she is just awesome.
Jungle.
This is a jungle carpet python that was produced by my buddy. She's kind of stuck on the perch.
Nice. Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's really bright.
This was
That is
produced.
super pretty.
So I've got a pair of these that I can't wait to breed. She's the female, and she's finally on like small rats, where she was on mice for the longest time. So she's finally starting to plump up and gain some weight, and hopefully we'll be breeding some awesome jungle carpets soon too, because the male, he's ready to go. But she's awesome. She's just got some insane yellows, and the blacks are jet black.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a definitely nice.
She's gorgeous. Yeah.
It's funny. I usually focus more on like the racks and cage type stuff. That little perch thing that you had there, who makes those?
That's specialty.
He 3D prints them, right?
Who's that?
I think he said Specialty Exotics.
Specialty Exotics. Is that what you said? Sorry, it was cutting out a bit there.
Specialty Enclosure Designs, I think is the name.
Unfortunately, the audio keeps
Cutting out there. Yeah.
Man, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you now. That's great. Actually, it's better now.
All right. Let me see. Maybe I don't know if it was. How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is it Specialty Exotics? Is that?
No, Specialty Enclosure Designs is the guy's business name, and they're pre-printed little perches. They fit perfectly in a 6-quart tub, and I wanted to just get her up off the ground a little bit, and I keep her in this FB50 rack. But I have like 2 or 3 of these in there that just give her something up off the ground to kind of go on to.
Yeah.
I've seen those before too at the shows, and
Yeah. No, they're a good idea.
yeah, especially in a rack system to get something off the ground in a rack system.
Yeah.
It's a low tubs.
Yeah, when you have a 6-quart tub and they fit perfectly in there, it gives you a little perch to sit on.
Nice.
So my question again focuses more on business than the animals themselves, but what's your plan with your business? Like, are you kind of hoping that you could do this full time, or it's still just a hobby?
I think it would. I think it's a dream of mine to do it full time, but I think the logistics and the amount of work that it would require would be a little just impossible right now. In fact, I don't even know how I would make it work. I don't know how I would make it work. I mean, I think it's cool to think of the fact that I could do this full time, but there would be so many things that would change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would have to invest in tons of animals and build a facility and do all these different things. So I don't know. for me, it's just kind of a hobby, and it pays for itself, and it's super fun to do. That's why I do it in the first place. But I think with social media and everything, I could kind of see it taking off and going somewhere. So I don't know. It might. I go back and forth. It's hard to say.
It's tough, and I mean I was the same way. It was nice for me because I started out doing the cages in the garage and slowly built it, and then I kind of got pushed to making it full time. But I had at least 10 years of it being a hobby where the expenses, as long as I covered my costs, it made sense and I didn't have to worry about it. But man, it changes once you have to make it full time and it's, your sole income and you have to worry about health benefits and affording rent or mortgage or whatever. So it can be tough. Some people have done it, but it's not easy.
Very few manage to make it work.
Yeah. Oh, I can see that 100%. I don't know. The thing about it is some days I'm very, very focused on big picture type stuff, like let's get more females, let's do this, let's do that, and all these things. And then on another day, I think about, man, like keeping up with the rats to feed all these snakes is hard, and the only way to slim the rats down is if I slim the snakes down, and maybe I should just zone in and focus on a few specialty projects. And then that day I want to like cut my whole collection in half. But then
Yeah.
Oh, we've all been there. I mean, you can have the greatest day, like say you get a nice email from a customer, and then 2 days later you get a customer that something didn't go right, and you want to cut your losses and just shut down. So it's definitely
let's not do that.
Yeah, no. We've been on a pretty good roll. I swear, like part of it too is being in the right place in the right time, things like that. Like what got me into full time was going on to Dragon's Den, which is your equivalent to Shark Tank, and being young at the time, it pushed me to make a decision, like see if I could make it full time and make a go of it. And I mean, I did, but there's been a lot of ups and downs too along the way. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, real quick, the picture on my end just me and then small me. I can't see you guys anymore. I don't know if that's something on mine.
Yeah, Greg's got it set up that way. There we go. Yeah.
You're better looking, so we might as well get rid of the two ugly guys.
Hey.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
The thing for me is the egg hatching season always my gives me my fire back, and then it's the winter breeding season into spring is when I get all like it's just nothing but grinding, cleaning and feeding, feeding. There's nothing. And not only does it affect social media, because then I feel like I've been taking pictures of the same grow outs all season long, but then once those eggs hatch, then all my excitement comes back, and it's just like a roller coaster throughout the years of excitement and depression, and I want more snakes, so I want to sell half of them. Oh, I want more, and
it's such a challenge because the bloom goes off the rose very easily, where there's certain points where everything is fantastic, it looks great, and then you get down to the day-to-day drudgery of it, where you're just again cleaning and feeding, and there's a giant portion of the year is just monotony, right? That's where you've got to really enjoy the animals you work with, because if you don't like them, or you don't love or are passionate about the animals you're working with, that's the part that's going to grind away at you, because there's all that care and all that stuff where you got to do, and it's like the day-to-day stuff. And if you're not enjoying those animals, that's really going to beat you down, and that's what gets guys over time. And that's why a lot of people come in for a couple of years and then get out. They look and they think they're going to make a bunch of money, and then they realize, oh, that's a lot of work, and it's more of a passion thing, and they eventually just kind of fall away.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. How long have you been in the industry, like in terms of like breeding?
This is my third season breeding. So this is the third year that I successfully would have. Actually, I have hatched eggs this year. So it is 100% my third year breeding because I've already hatched eggs this year. I forgot about that. Those were earlier in the year at a funky clutch. But anyways, but I think I've been keeping the animals between 4 and maybe 4.5 years, I would say, consistently. You know, like when I got the green tree python, I believe it was 2016, the mid 2016, and now we're in 2020. So maybe between 4.5 years, 5 years, I'd say. And then breeding, it's my third successful year breeding. So the ball python.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's
Well, you've
awesome.
done very well for yourself for like a relatively short period of time. So
Well, thank
that's
you very much.
fantastic to see. I mean, you're clearly very passionate about it, and a genuinely good guy. So
yeah, no, thanks. Oh, I think for me, I always thought that when you go to a reptile show, and I don't want to offend anybody or piss anybody off, but I always just thought way too many old, crusty, grumpy people in the industry.
We fall into that category.
I feel personally attacked.
Wait, but I've had beers with guys, and I don't think that's the case.
Well, that's because you've had beers with us.
Yeah.
So that doesn't count.
Your secret is safe with us and everybody watching.
But I come from a customer service and sales background. Now I did that for 10 years of my life. So what I wanted to bring to the table was not only super cool animals, but I wanted to bring an awesome experience and knowledge that anybody can enjoy. And I want them to walk up to my table, my booth, come to my social media, my Instagram, and see nothing but smiles and happiness and excitement around everything, not some grumpy old guy, that's like, take it or leave it attitude. Like, you can come talk to me about anything. You can come, whatever it is, and we'll talk about it, and I'll show you some cool animals, and whether you buy one or not, it doesn't matter, and that's what I kind of wanted to bring to the table, a really cool experience in the midst of everything else,
I think that's the key to these. I'm reading comments as I go here, but I think that's the key to a lot of the breeders today and the reptile expos in general. It's it's sharing the passion and getting people interested in loving these animals for what they are, and not just saying, having a table full of things with price tags on them and trying to sell as many as you can in a weekend. It's about education, sharing the passion, and just showing people why you're in this industry, and and passing that on to the new guys. Like, for us, going down to the Super Show, and not the year that we met you this year, but last year, we actually had a booth there, and like the amount of people that had came up to us and were just excited to meet us because they had seen our show and had their first reptiles because of us. I mean, that's just like, it's so crazy to think. And it's just amazing to see that we're, investing in this industry and getting the payoff of new growth in the reptile hobby.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No, and it shows. Like clearly you're a passionate guy, and like you're the kind of guy that lasts in this hobby. Like I've been keeping animals and reptiles and stuff since the late '80s.
He's old.
So yeah, I've been in the hobby that long. But I'm just saying, like, you can see, like, the people that are genuinely passionate about it, that's what sustains and maintains. Guys that come in and are looking at the monetary, the investment stuff, they come and go, and it's a dime a dozen, and they never last. But the guys that are genuinely passionate about it and care about it and are in for the right reasons, like yourself, those are the guys that last, and you see year after year, long term. So that's such a great thing to see, and that to me is what really the hobby is about.
What I want, so one of our viewers has commented, guys that cut their price in half on Sunday at noon so they don't have to take them home or a cancer and can just go away. And this this commenter also just had a podcast yesterday that was kind of touching on basically the same thing. There's so much infighting in the reptile hobby, and I mean we see that more specifically. I think it's human race in general, unfortunately. But the more we can all come together and share information and stop the infighting, I think the better the industry would be. And I mean, hopefully, we're building towards it. I mean, that's kind of the reason we do these kind of
and
lives.
We see it, like, for example, we had Grant from out east, who at the time was running the biggest reptile expo in Canada. Came out west and was blown away by the fact that at the time all of us here seemed to be such a tight-knit community. We were all very friendly. Like, it's very cutthroat out there in Ontario and out east. Whereas us, guys that have no problem recommending, hey, I don't have this, but go see so and so, or this guy's breeding that, or this guy has that, or this guy's also got these. He was just blown away by how open and kind of working together and friendly we were, and that's really the community that we all want to foster and grow, and that's how we want to move forward with the hobby. But it's there's always that fight where when it becomes too big, there's a lot of guys get super cutthroat, and want to trash talk each other, and it doesn't work long term. Like,
no,
in the ass.
I think something that I don't know. I think there's a couple levels that you can take the hobby, and you can kind of find your way to thrive in each and every one of them, and however you choose. I think for me, I fall into a category where I'm more low to mid range, like ball pythons. All my stuff sells at shows because it's like a reasonable price that a person would pay, like, for a pet. It's not some $3,000-$4,000 snake. And I think for me, I avoid a lot of the drama because I don't necessarily go into that political level where you're talking about super high end, super wazoo type stuff.
Mhm.
But those are my buddies are kind of in that area too. You know what I mean? So I kind of float around in the middle and just kind of tap in wherever I can and learn whatever I can.
Yeah,
you're in the right spot.
We do the same kind of thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Again, I've got guys that buddies of mine that I've known for forever that do that and deal in that end of stuff. And, I keep it as a hobby for myself, stuff I'm passionate about and love to work with, and try and produce the highest quality animals, the best of what I work with, and keep my little niche in that. And that's what keeps it fun for me. And at one point I think it was close to 500 animals in my basement, where I was like, this is too much.
Wow.
This is just way too much. And then I just keep scaling back down to where it became fun again, and just working with stuff that I love to work with. So there's always ebbs and flows in that. But yeah, it's those different levels, right? Where, you can stay in your pocket and sustain it long term and find what works for you to keep that going. And that's a big thing. That'll serve you well. It's not cyclical. Everything comes back around. Colubra. I've always been into a lot of colubrids, and there was times where they become really popular, and there's times where nobody gave a crap about them and they want everything else. That's fine. And now everything's coming back around again. It's all cyclical. So you stick with what you love and you're passionate about, and it'll, in the end, it works out.
For sure.
It's interesting being in the hobby as long as I have, and you see those ebbs and flows and the cycle, like Chris said. One show nobody's got leopard geckos and everybody wants them, and bearded dragons at the time are popular. I mean, right now it's ball pythons. We put on shows and it's probably at least 70% ball pythons, but that's what's popular right now. So you can't fault the people who are breeding them to be producing them, because that's what's the biggest, just focusing like for breed.
Kind of losing you guys again. You guys still there?
Or like our Wi-Fi keeps dropping.
We're back. Sorry.
We're back. We have
There
kids
we go.
streaming on Xbox,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have to get rid of that.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, the long and the short of it is do what you're passionate in, and it'll show through in
Yeah.
your animals and how you present your business.
Right. So I got a
yeah.
question for you. What are your favorite reptiles to work with, and the ones you're most passionate about?
I would say it's probably man, I think it's so I would say I'm most passionate about ball pythons, but I would say I would like to be more passionate with the green trees. The green trees are more expensive and I don't have the logistics to maintain them the way, but I would trade the amount of ball pythons I have for those in green any day. They're easier to take care of. I think they're a little bit cooler to see babies pop out, where ball pythons are a little easier to breed. But I think with ball pythons, that's where my true passion is, because I mean, with the morphs and the breeding and the genetics and the gamble behind it, it's just too much fun. It's just so fun to do it, and it's fairly simple and easy. I just ball pythons are a mess, man. They're hard to they crap all the time. They smear it all over, fill their water the moment you put it in there, or they get inside and make it overflow. They're like, I don't even know. They're just like the most ornery, like pain in the ass dog that you've had that just tear everything up, but you love it so much. You know, you're like that cute, fluffy little dog. Off so much, and he just tore apart the couch, but I'm gonna get another one, you know. So.
I was leading into that because there's one animal you've got that I'm super jealous of.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Your new little lizard you got. Is there any chance you can show us your new little lizard?
Yeah. Let me grab this guy.
And while you're doing that, I wanted to comment, like, I have a couple ball pythons now, and I'm not into the breeding thing, but I see you guys all as scientists. Like, it's crazy. You guys are mixing potions here and there, and like you guys have no kind of definitive idea of what you're going to come up with. But it's just here. I'm going to put you in.
So please
screen.
explain to us what we're looking at,
And don't
So
get
this is the lizard, and I'm hoping he doesn't bite me right now. I haven't really held him in a while, but this is Helioderma exasperinum. It's one of the more common Mexican-eated lizards that you could get, and they're kind of common out here in California.
Yeah.
They literally are like native in Mexico, and I think either different species of Gila monsters or beaded lizards are even native in Arizona and stuff like that. So
Yeah, Arizona, Nevada. I think even California may be parts of.
I don't know.
But for sure, Arizona.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Nevada's got a bunch too. But man, that's gorgeous. Oh, I'm so jealous.
So how old
that's
is
my
that?
favorite. The Gilas and the beadeds are my favorite lizard species, and we're not allowed to keep them where we live.
Yeah.
Gotcha. My buddy just got one. I don't know if the light helps it a little bit, but you can. Yeah, I think he's about to shed too, so his scales are kind of
gorgeous.
But
looks great.
I get a kick out of this face, man. This face is like something out of a prehistoric dinosaur.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Is just the prehistoric look. I mean, they've kind of looked like the monkey-tailed skinks in their face structure.
To me, they look like lava lizards from the old Dungeons and Dragons days. Yeah,
they're so cool.
They're just super cool. It's amazing.
Sorry, how old is that guy?
It's probably only like 3 months old, 4 months old, because I think I got it as a hatchling only about a month ago, if that, and then I think they had hatched maybe like 6 weeks before that or something. So it's just a couple months old.
Yeah, just a baby, wee baby,
but big. Like
they get the fair size.
Yeah.
Oh, you get like 3 to 4 feet long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a bit more arboreal, as I understand it, than the Gilas, for example. Like they're not going to climb a tree 20 feet, but a little more, up off the ground, shrubby. Like they get the longer legs, the longer claws and stuff. That they look like they're a little more adept at climbing low structures than, say, a Gila, for example.
Well, that's all. The tub, climb up and those claws that he has are so big and cool.
Yeah.
They hook onto anything, and he holds on pretty good.
Oh.
So how do you house him? Like, is it cage or rack setup?
So because he's so small, I have him in a FB15 or no 8V18 is what it is. I keep him in this vision rack, but what I did is I took the heat cable off the bottom of the rack where he stays, because they only need to be at like 84, 85 at the warmest. They don't need that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they basically need the same sort of gradient that a ball python would, but maybe like a couple degrees cooler. In fact, I think my buddy keeps them at ambient temps, and he keeps them all at like 82 or 83 degrees. This guy has like an 85-degree hot spot, and then it cools down to 80 near the front of the tub where his water is.
Yeah.
Those tubs being so long are nice because you can create like a decent gradient, and still create, have a pretty good hot spot at the back.
Oh my, yeah, these V15 tubs are probably my favorite tubs because a hatchling ball python fits in them so perfectly, and then they literally live in this thing for so long. It's funny because I don't ever catch any negative heat on anything I do. I usually don't speak my mind about anything. I just keep all my comments to myself, and I try to
Well, now's the time.
Yeah.
On a Canadian network.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to complain about the snakes living in these tubs, and I don't get it. They always bitch and complain about the freaking snakes being, oh my God, that tub's so small that I can't believe you keep a snake in that tub. But the ball pythons absolutely love these things. They freaking love living in tubs.
Yeah. It depends on the snake, 100%.
Ball pythons, definitely for those. And the nice thing, like, we sell the equivalent of those tubs through Vivarium Electronics, but having that length of tub and just the size that they are, the one thing we find is they always are really good eaters. And that's the biggest thing with ball pythons is you have the treble feeders, and usually it comes down to cage size and being too stressed with having I don't want to say too much room, but that's literally what it is they've got too much room and they don't feel secure.
Yeah, no, you're correct. Because my thing is if the snake's still eating, shedding, pooping, doing everything of its life cycle, I don't even want to take it out of that environment and then risk throwing it off. Because once again, you have to understand, we're talking about ball pythons here, which are like the biggest wussies of all snakes. You like change them and they freaking flip out and stop eating and go on some weird hunger strike. And when I see a snake eating and thriving well, the last thing you want to do is change something. It's like if it's not broke, then don't fix it. Obviously, when they grow, you got to get them into bigger sizes and stuff. But still, they do really, really well in very cramped, small environments. In fact, it's the funny story is one time before I had this room built, before I did this, I had like 4 snakes inside my house. And my wife's biggest fear was that one would actually get out. Well, one morning I woke up and I go to look at the tub and it somehow popped it open, escaped. And that snake had this whole tub to live in. It was living in like either a 6 or I think it was a 15-quart tub, sterilite tub. And it had crawled out of the 15-quart tub and played some little box where it couldn't even sit flat. It was like living in this little area like that wide, but it was stacking itself on top of each other, like literally in this tiny little spot. And out of all the places the snake could have gone, that's where it would feel secure. You know what I mean? So it kind of just shows that's what they like. That's what they thrive in. That's where they live. And
well, you gotta think of where they come from. I mean, in Africa, they're living in termite mounds, and they're coming out to either hunt food or breed. Yeah. So Iraq isn't really far off from that. And
for a ball python, 100%. Yes. Again, it depends on the species of snake, right? Stuff like garter snakes or a lot of the different colubrids, they need bigger space. They're more active. They're more diurnal. They're out and about. Like, but for a ball python, clearly it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of heat that gets taken with ball python breeders just because of racking systems and some of the stuff I agree with, but at the end of the day, the whole feeding, breeding, shedding, like growing, like if they're doing all of that, they're not suffering.
At the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
If it's working, we always want to try and find ways to improve, but at the same time, when something's working, it's working for a reason. Like there's something behind it.
No, I think what you said is funny because a stressed out snake gets sick, and a sick snake doesn't eat, it doesn't breed, it doesn't do all these things.
Exactly.
So that all these snakes are being kept in captivity, just like you said, and they're eating and breeding and doing all these things shows that you're literally duplicating their life cycle the way that it needs to be done. You know what I mean? To make them think and feel that they're right at home. So it's something about it is definitely pretty close to being dead on,
Yeah.
So
100%.
So, just because people love to see animals, do you got anything else cool that you can show us?
What are you most proud of? What you produce or have in your collection? Let's see a couple of your prized possession animals.
So let me see. I've got a bunch of stuff. This one right here. This was actually one of my. So this girl right here is a Mojave pastel, so a Pastave ghost, and her color's just super cool and gray, and totally different than what like a normal ball python without that ghost or hypogene is supposed to look. And this snake is super cool to me because she's the first, not only the first clutch I produced, but the first oh my God, I can't believe I produced those genes type of snake. Like she hit all three genes. She was a ghost, a visual ghost. She hit the pastel and the Pastave, and it was a female, so I had to keep her. And now she's just growing up, and I don't know, somehow going to find her way into the breeding projects. But like I said, I don't work with anything too crazy high end. It wasn't until this last year that I started getting into some more high end stuff. But this is what, it's about to me, just kind of hitting the jackpot on the genes and making something super cool. And everybody loves it. You know what I mean?
We gotta have a quick shout out to our buddy Baby Rhino. Chad Horning is watching. He was a big part of Amanda to the Rescue TV show, so we get to meet those guys down. He just noticed that he logged on, so just saying hello.
Hey, Chad.
But yeah, no, 100%. Like, what a beautiful snake.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question from me, who, like I said, not a ball python guy. How many what's the most genes that can go into a ball python right now? It keeps getting higher and higher.
Dan has put out some crazy.
Like, is it like 4 genes or 5?
Dan
I don't think it really. I don't think there's a limit. The thing is there's recessive genes and I guess what you would call like an incomplete dominant gene, which people call codoms and
codom.
So I think like triple and quadruple recessive genes is pretty rare and top of the thing right now.
Yeah.
And I would say as far as like codoms go, you could see a snake with like 4 or 5 genes all the time, so I don't know. The thing about ball pythons though is that it's not always great to have a million genes in your snake, because then it just turns into some weird muddy mess and you have no idea what the hell it is.
That's funny because we literally had somebody just comment the exact same thing. Chris there said infinite. He's like, at about 6, it's so washed out you can't pick them out.
Yeah,
you can't even tell. So here's a question too. He also had a question of, what's your favorite morph? Your single gene must have ball python morph.
Oh man, I'm gonna go. with it's hard to say. I don't know. I would say Mojave for me because I think it changes so many things. Like the snake I just showed you had Mojave in it, and they get so. It's a toss between Mojave and Black Pastel because I think both Mojave and Black Pastel do really cool things to the ghost projects, and that's what I have a lot of my stuff in. A lot of this ghost stuff. So this is like a Black Pastel pastel. It's a black ghost or hypo snake. And then the last one was Mojave. But then I love GHI. I don't. That's the problem. It's really hard because for me, it was always like 4 or 5 G's that I just love. Like I could say I love Pied. Like Pied is my favorite things because I just love what it does. But man, that's the cool thing about ball pythons and why I have 60 of them is because you know you don't have to just choose one gene. It's hard to say.
Dropping Wi-Fi. Sorry.
Are you back?
It's always.
Sorry about that.
Our Wi-Fi here is not so good today.
Oh, no, I was just saying it's hard to choose a specific gene because the fact that I have like, I don't know, like 40 ball pythons just shows that I can't pick just one. You know what I mean? Like I can't zone in on one.
Fair enough.
Like
really, there's when it comes to the morphs, the ball pythons, there's just so many. I have there's new names coming up every day that I have no idea about any of them. So
right, like I don't like this right here is a banana pied, but it is just one of the snakes I've ever seen because the banana color is just so awesome and light and yellow on its own, and then you throw a pied in there which adds those white marks.
Yeah,
that's a pretty high white pied too.
Yeah, it does actually. It's got a decent amount.
Yeah.
The I like for me the banana, like my daughter, that was her ball python that she got had the banana gene in it, and just the colors of them are so amazing.
So the thing about the snakes is, for me, I started the whole thing, and then my wife got involved as the years went on. I was serious about it. She realized snakes can't kill you and all that stuff, and now she's all into it, just like me and everything. So for me, I liked a lot of the darker genes, and I like stuff like GHI. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what GHI does, but it has a really cool, like wonky pattern that is just so cool. Like this would be one of my favorite genes to work with, and I love it so much. And I produced these last year, and we've got like a pastel GHI and a regular GHI, and they just came out so cool and so dark. And I took them all to shows, and I was so proud that I produced these snakes, and they were really cool. And none of them sold, and nobody looked at them. And then every single banana that I produced sold and flew off the table, like right off the bat, for like asking price and everything. And then that's when my wife got involved, and she goes, "Look, I get it. You like some of this stuff." She goes, "But you got to target some of your breeding projects to what people really like." And it was her that got in and was like, "Look, everybody loves these bananas, the light snakes, the lighter colors and stuff like that." And she's kind of helped me out on that end. And now I have some more I still got my GHIs, and I'm holding them back and going to grow them up and do some cool projects. Like I've always wanted to produce the Mojave GHI, super basic, kind of old school, considering the grand scheme of things, but they're just such snakes. I just love the patterns and colors and stuff.
It's funny though, because what doesn't sell at one show, you don't have enough of it the next show. It's so
the next
weird.
show, you can't chase the trends. Like that's the worst thing you can do because you're going to be behind. By the time you produce those, everybody's on to something else now. So you just stick with what you love, what you like. I like the darker ones too. For me, like with the snakes, the different patterns. Like for me, the bright colors for me are 100%. That's what that grabs my attention. But also the darker colors too, the more melanistic looking stuff. There's always something about that always. I would rather have an all black snake than an all white snake.
Right.
Right.
So that's something I actually got into too. Is we picked up recently. This snake's in shed right now, but this is a black pastel. I told you I like black pastel a lot, but this is a black pastel pied.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Wow, that's crazy high pied.
Yeah.
Really
So,
one
Like
spot.
there's literally just like a 2-inch section of color.
yeah, that's it right
Wow.
there.
And then on the head.
Oh, on the head too, of course.
Yep.
That's amazing. Holy crap.
But black pastel is a little controversial because when you make super black pastels, you get an all black snake, which is super, super cool. But a lot of the times they might have genetic defects and stuff that don't allow them to live. But I've talked to a couple buddies, a couple different people, and it seems that there's some tricks with like incubation temperatures and other things that might help it and make it work. So we might go for that all black snake with this girl right here when she gets to size.
So for that snake, roughly what do those sell for in the U.S.?
This one right here, probably like, I think like a $700 snake. If you were like go on Morph Market and look at it, between $600 and $700, maybe even upwards into $800, I would say.
Tyrone is saying, "Hey, Jason." Tyrone just joined us.
Ty finally found the time to pop in. Thanks for regaling us with your presence, Tyrone.
The reason I asked that is because, like, I started in 2000, and I can't remember when piebalds first surfaced, but there was a show that I put on through the local reptile society, and it was one vendor had a piebald, and it was the first one I'd ever seen. And it's just crazy how, like, you know, the first ofs, how they're priced versus like once
10,
they're
20 grand.
yeah. So that snake at the time he had paid $20,000 cash for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like $10 American, but it was still a lot at the time.
Yeah, it's 20,000 Canadian. So yeah, it's like $100 American.
But still, like, you know, just to see like piebalds, you know, at that time sold for $20,000, and today's price, say, I'm assuming, is around 300 or so.
Well, anything that's
Mass produced.
yeah,
I mean,
no, it's
supply and demand.
Well, I think a lot of everything plays a little bit of a part though, because if you're talking about a hatchling pied, visual pied, you're probably talking, you want to say 400, but you're realistically talking more like 300.
Yeah.
And then but talking about like an adult female, there's some pretty good value behind that. And then when you add genes, like black pastel is not very common in pied. It's a little harder to find than, let's say, pastel, yellow belly, or some of the more common genes. Black pastel is a little more on the rarer side when it comes to working it in the pied, and that's what makes that one a little more pricey. But there's tons of stuff. Like this guy right here is probably one of the most expensive snakes I own, and it's only because he's got the he's yellow belly for one.
God, that's so
bright. He's got red stripe in him too, which is a big one, and then he's het clown. So
that's very brightly colored.
Yeah. So what does red stripe mean?
So red stripe is basically this gene that adds
I don't see a red stripe. That's why I'm asking.
No, it adds a lot of
relatively speaking.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with ball python morphs, and that was the hardest thing. He was figuring out what the hell all these
I've got 4 scales and they're different. That's a new morph. I'm gonna name it myself. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, so the coloration, red stripe adds a lot of the color and adds a lot of this bright yellow orange color to it. It's got yellow belly too, which enhances it a lot, but there's just a lot of hype behind the stuff that Justin Kabilka produces, and red stripe and yellow belly. There's not a lot of red stripe, yellow belly clowns out there right now, and if this guy produced some of them, they would go for a pretty penny. So that's just one of the things. The yellow belly enhances a lot of the genes. I think this guy's pastel as well. And then the red stripe is just something new. Changes a lot of the pattern, blushes out the pattern on the sides, and then adds a lot of that yellow-orange color and stuff.
I feel like I'm sitting beside a yellow belly clown right now. Yeah. That's amazing.
I feel like you're on the right track though, like with what you're saying, trying to have like the mid range and like, single, double gene type snakes. It's one thing to sell those like world's first or whatever. Most of the time that stuff gets traded anyways, and you don't necessarily get the value that you're asking for. But I would rather sell, you know, 20 snakes at a show versus like maybe selling one and be worried that you might not sell it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's why I I don't know. Well, to go back a little bit, when I started the hobby, I wasn't trying to spend a bunch of money and invest a bunch of money and hope for this gigantic return. I was buying single gene snakes with the idea that I could breed them and produce two gene snakes and then maybe sell them and make my money back that I bought it for. Literally, my entire goal was to have fun with this hobby, breed some snakes, and then maybe make some money back to pay for what money I put into it. But what I found was that all these single gene, double gene, triple gene snakes that might not be $1,000 snakes, you can sell like 30 of them at a show, no problem, because that's the type of people that are coming to reptile shows a lot of the times. And I'm not counting the fact that people can sell $5,000-$6,000 snakes at shows. It happens for sure. But what I'm saying,
for sure.
I've been able to vend at a show and bring a snake that goes for maybe $150 to $350 and then sell like 30 of them and not have any problems,
Yeah. It's the ones that are the big price tags. It's usually they trade it's a $10,000 snake, so they'll trade you like $8,000 worth of snakes,
Right.
and then a bit of cash.
Kind of breaking even.
Yeah, it's
like now you got to invest. You've traded for that value, but now you've got to invest all your time and energy to make that value of animal make you the money back.
Right.
That price tag isn't necessarily the price tag, the actual cash sale price tag.
I think people who kind of diversify and have maybe a couple of those high-end animals but stick to the mid-grade, those are the ones that are going to sell. Maybe you'll sell one of those high-end animals, but you're not disappointed at going to a show and not making your money back at least.
Right.
Question here for you. So what's your dream reptiles to keep? We get asked this every time we do these. So what are your dream reptiles to keep?
Man,
no restrictions.
I would say some sort of monitor. Like I love those Bell's Phase lace monitors.
Oh, yes.
Are awesome. And then I also really, really love those monkey-tailed skinks. Somebody mentioned it earlier too. That's like been one of my dream animals too.
Greg loves them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that would probably be one of my dream. I'm not really big on venomous stuff like the cobras. I mean, I think they're awesome and they're really cool, but I don't have some burning desire to own them. I think for me, it would be something that I could just watch, and something about those monkey-tailed skinks and the way they just look like aliens from another planet or monitors are really cool and inquisitive and smart. And I just think those are just awesome animals.
Totally look like aliens.
Yeah, for me, it's the seeing the thought. I think for me, it's like the thought. You can see their thought process, like as they're moving. They're inquisitive and they're testing things out before committing. And when we were filming the one episode of our show, we had the monkey-tailed skink for 2 or 3 days, and I just fell in love with them. They're so like prehistoric looking, first of all, but just the fact that it seems like there's like a tiny brain behind those eyes, like they're thinking about things before they're acting, whereas some lizards are just like running around like crazy, and you don't see that aspect of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Another one of my dream animals were the Leachianus geckos, but then I got those. I love them, and they're super cool. So
just super expensive.
I love Leachies. Pajama geckos. Yeah. Those are, they're high on my list, but they're just so expensive. I
I never thought that I would get them because of the price tag that they usually have. And then one day I just kind of pulled the trigger and I bought, it was like an adult pair. They were proven breeders. They were already bonded and living together.
Yeah.
And I just closed my eyes.
No-brainer. Yeah.
And just did it. And now, I mean, they're awesome animals. They're super cool. In fact, I'm hoping to dig up a nice fertile clutch of eggs from those guys in the next couple days here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I get some lychee babies in the next couple of months.
I've come so close so many times to just biting the bullet and buying lychees. I just keep holding out. I want to get like locality specific lychees, and yeah.
There was actually somebody who was getting rid of one for kind of an emergency situation, and I can't remember why you didn't even act on it. You thought it wasn't a real ad, or
No, it was a real ad. I just assumed that the price tag was going to be
she didn't list. She didn't list prices.
substantial. So I was going to contact her anyways just to see, and I didn't. And then I heard. Actually, she told us.
Second, yeah, we heard after
she
the
literally
fact
told us after the fact that
how much she sold it
basically
for.
gave them away for about 20% of their value.
It's the coffee stuff.
So cheers! Thank you for being part of our
Yes.
our podcast. You can take a sip of your mountain beer.
And by podcast, Facebook Live.
Same.
Yeah. No. So hopefully we get to see you again soon at one of these shows coming up. We can come down to the States.
Well, if you keep coming to I'll definitely be there. It's the ones that are so Tinley I need to go to, and we've already been to Arlington. So I think we're going to go to Tinley as long as everything's good and ready to go. I was actually going to go in March, and I kind of pulled out of that. And then,
when's the next Tinley? When's the one that's going to happen?
It's next? October, right?
Is it going to happen in October?
So I believe they happen in March and October, and from what I understand, everything's like ready to go. I don't think they're planning on canceling it or anything. So
because Tinley's on the list for shows that we want to do for sure.
Yeah,
which would be amazing. Oh.
We're still talking to. Obviously, we've done the Super Show, the January Super Show for the last 2 years. So we're hoping we'll still do that one. But yeah, definitely Tinley's on the list.
Yeah.
When is Super Show? I know that they've canceled a few dates. When's their next one? Do you know?
Well, from what I understand, they're actually, I think that the next one's supposed to be in August, but I don't know if it's canceled or if it's still going. Yeah. Like all the COVID stuff down here dying down and everything's opening back up.
Yeah.
I think I saw that it was canceled, but I don't know. I don't know for sure.
I think so too. I thought, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah. But soonish. But yeah, that's definitely on the list. And I got a question for you. How did you meet or get involved with Miguel?
Oh man. Shoot. Let me grab a beer and I'll tell you. I'll explain.
Okay.
That's weird. He just vanished.
I know.
I think that might be our
I feel like this is going to be a good story.
Or it might have been the shots that we've had.
Yeah.
Well, now.
So here, while you're grabbing that.
I'll cut down one day. Oh, I just bumped into him one day and,
Well, we've got a story about. Oh no, it wasn't Miguel. Sorry, I'm thinking Brian's kind of like the same. I meld those two together, but Brian, we have a good story of how we met him. Triple B.
So
I never met him. I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were
For Triple B, you know.
Yeah, the burritos.
Oh, Triple B. Sorry, never mind. I thought you said BHB.
No,
never mind. Yeah. Yes. Kushko. Yes. Sorry. So just quickly before I move on, Tom Cotter, watching from Fresno, California, room full of ball pythons, some sabu pythons. Thank you for watching, and yes, carry on with.
Sorry, how did you meet? How did you meet Miguel?
First of all, we live in the same city, practically. It's like 10 minutes down the street from me. So, So the funny thing is when he started posting videos on YouTube, like a couple years ago, and he would be driving somewhere to go pick up an animal, or hey, we're gonna go do this. I recognized all the street signs and everything as he was vlogging and filming everything. So I shot him a message and was like, hey, you obviously live where I live. Like, what's up, man? How's it going, fellow breeder or whatever? So we started talking, and then the more he got involved and started bringing his brother and all the other things into the vlog and into the stuff that he was doing on media, I was like, hey, I know that guy from when I used to do this and go to that gym, and hey, I know him from this, and because everything in our community is so small and we're all the same age, just about. So like I used to go train and do like mixed martial arts stuff at a gym that Jesse used to work at. He signed me up for the gym, you know what I mean? Like I remember. And then it was like, dude, that's your brother? Like, how is that? And then our kids go to the same school, and all these things just started piling together. And then we just kind of kept in contact. And now, I mean, I don't know. It's like he's one of my one of the greater friends I have in this entire community. I don't even know what to call it. I could literally call him up right now and say, hey, what's up? What's this? What's that? You know, and then drive over to his house, pick something up or drop something off. And we've gone together and we've hung out, and he's introduced me to so many people, and I don't even know. It was basically me on social media and sending him a message saying, hey man, I didn't know we were neighbors. Can we be friends? And then
that's pretty awesome. So I found, like, you know, when we went down to the Super Show the first time, like, I just found that everybody there was so friendly and approachable, and like, again, we're like, we just showed up. We're like, hey, how's it going? We're like, we're just being us, and people are just being themselves, and had a few drinks. We're chatting. We ordered some food. We got to know. We feel like the California herp community is very similar to like Western Canada, where it's super tight. Everybody's pretty casual, likes to have fun and laugh and joke around. Like, it was, you know, we were just, So, you know, like I didn't follow a lot of the YouTube stuff or the vlogs and stuff. So I didn't know who a lot of the people I was talking to were. And we're having drinks, we're buying shots, and people are buying us drinks, and we're ordering burritos and tacos and dumb shit. Just being us and having fun, and just, you know, we're just like, hey, let's laugh and have a good time. And everybody else was right on board with that, and it was really cool. It felt like we were home.
Yeah,
you know, it was really cool.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was interesting when we met in Anaheim, and I think it was Brian brought you guys over and was like, hey, you three come over here, hang out with the rest of us. And I've known Brian now for a couple years, and Riley Jimison, he's really good friends and close with Brian, and I know Riley really well. And that's when I remember like talking to you guys and saying like, hey, where are you from? And the answer was like, well, we did a TV show about building reptile enclosures. And I'm like, oh crap, like, oh, badass, like, holy cow. Like, I thought I was like, hey, I breed ball pythons and a lot of these people know me. And then I'm sitting next to you guys going, holy shit, you guys have been on you did an entire TV show building all this stuff. And then the funny thing is I went home from that show and I brought all my kids and come on guys, come on.
Family time. Oh no.
I was like, Daddy got to hang out with all these guys at the last reptile show. And my son's like, oh, that's so cool, you know.
That's funny.
Watching all the episodes of Scaled and stuff. So
oh geez, that's funny. Yeah, no, it afforded us some opportunities to just to go down there and to just hang out and, you know, have some fun. And I mean, you know, we're who we are, and everybody else, like, it was such a great experience. And like, we've made that now, it's like a yearly thing where we want to make sure the January Super Show we're always going to, because it was so much fun and everybody was so just chill and hanging out, and they're having fun. And everybody wants to laugh and have a good time. Same thing with Cusco. Like I hadn't followed the YouTube stuff, and Tyrone had a little more, and one of his sons
Yeah, it was one of his sons.
one of his sons was a big YouTube, like following, Brian and stuff. So he was like, whoa. Right. And I had no idea at the time. I had no perspective or concept. So it was just.
We just knew he loved burritos.
Yeah. And we're all just hanging out and having a good time. So that's just us. And, it was so great that everybody was kind of on the same level and just having a good time and laughing and joking around. And we had such a great time with it. And all you guys were so great. It was just such a great time.
Well, that's something that I've noticed. I've noticed in a lot of like jobs that I've worked and a lot of different things, people can be kind of cliquey and stuff like that. And when I got into this ball python or even the reptile community in general, I watched and listened to a ton of podcasts and different things. And then when I started going to these shows, I started seeing all these people that I listened to and learned stuff from and seen on YouTube and done all this stuff. And then for me, I had this preset notion that everything was very cliquey and that I wasn't one of them and all these things. But then little did I went up and I introduced myself, and the next thing I know, I'm being told, like, come over, come hang out, come do this, come do that. So welcoming. And literally the opposite of what I thought it would be,
Yeah. Well, same thing. Coming from Canada down to the U.S., I'm like, I have no idea what to expect. I'm just me, so whatever. And I have no problem talking to anybody. But it was very cool to see that everybody else was kind of just having fun. And we had a bunch of our friends down there that we've known for many years. So we show up at the bar and we're hanging out with them, and they're like, hey, this is so-and-so. I'm like, hey, cool, nice to meet you. Like, no concept of this is a guy that's a YouTuber with, millions of followers and stuff. Like, I had no idea, but it was really cool that nobody had any big airs or like, there was no egos or attitudes. Everybody was just laughing and just being guys and just hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah.
That's kind of our life. And it just felt like home, right? We're like, this is great. This is amazing. I love this. This is like so much fun. And everybody's having a good time. And we got to go to the show, and it's this giant show. And it was so great.
For me, I know, being the business minded person that I should be, like, it should be all about the dollars and cents. But as long as I cover my costs and shows, I don't necessarily need to be making money. The biggest thing is, I look forward to those Saturday nights and getting to shoot the shit with all the breeders and becoming friends with all these people that, we see from month to month at all the shows. So that's the part that I live for. And it's crazy during these times. Like, I haven't done a single show this year. Like, aside from the Super Show and just hanging out, I haven't vended a single show this year.
Yeah, it sucks. So, I agree. We've been vending Southern California at the Super Shows, and it is what it is. We pack everything up, we go down there, we set up, and then we hang out on the nights, and it's a great time. But then we have to get up early in the morning and get the table, and then talk to people all day, and sometimes it's a little tough depending on how much you had to drink the night before.
Yep.
So when we went to Arlington, we flew to Arlington and had no obligations. The only obligation I put for myself was to go to the show and get some good footage for the camera so I could do a couple of vlogs about it and throw it up on YouTube. And let me tell you, it was just the most amazing thing. And now I'm debating whether or not I even want to vend at the shows at all. Like, I almost want to put more pressure on myself to sell animals online and push the sales of animals online, just so I don't have to vend the show, so I can go and vlog and do everything like that and have a good time. Because that's, to me, the fun that you have after the show is half the freaking reason for going, to be honest. Catch up with all your buddies and hang out and have a good time.
that's what we miss the most is not the sales, it's the camaraderie.
Yeah.
And literally it's that Friday night it's set up and that leads into early Saturday morning when we should be sleeping.
The memories, the
Yeah.
fun, the stupid shit you do. Like,
Yeah.
again, and because of this dumb show we did, there's been, even in the last couple of years, the shows we've done in the States, there's been opportunities to interact with venomoids and these cool animals that we never would get an opportunity to deal with here.
Yeah.
You know, we had vendors going, "Hey, I've got like a beaded lizard. Do you want a whole?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Of course I do. I love
Yeah.
these things." Like, it was just the coolest thing was just everybody being so cool about stuff and just, yeah, it was just just like, I don't know these people and they didn't, but they've seen us on a show, so I was like, hey,
Now they trust us.
yeah, they
which is
trust
weird.
us, which is great. Yeah. So it was really
Yeah.
cool to have that opportunity. And, San Diego Zoo, we got to go behind the scenes and see that. That was so fun.
Awesome. Wow. Cool.
Well, we're almost going on 2 hours. I
Yes.
mean, you're just still fresh, but I think we should cut this short.
Yes.
And maybe continue on another
Yes.
and another time where
Yes.
you realize that we're an hour ahead of you.
Yes. Instead of behind.
Yeah. But
Thank you so
yeah.
much. We appreciate this so much, buddy. Like,
yeah, no, thanks for coming on, and it was great to talk to you.
Yeah.
At may not be in person, but at least we got to see that smiling face.
yeah.
I was gonna say earlier, your wife actually said that she started the reptile business, but maybe that's another conversation
Scandal. For next time.
for next time.
We'll put a pin in that for next time.
I'm just glad she's here with me. I'm glad she touches the animals now. We'll just leave it
Yeah.
at that.
No, hey, that's
Awesome.
awesome that you guys can share it together.
For sure.
I'm so glad you managed to come on, dude. Like, you're such a great guy to go talk to. You're so easygoing, easy to talk to, clearly passionate about the animals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
you're-
thanks so much, man. Thanks. I'm glad you guys. I feel honored that you guys would ask me to be on here and talk to you guys. But I the feeling's mutual, man. It likewise. I hanging out in Anaheim was awesome, and we had a really good time. And
yeah.
and on here is nothing. I just lately, my schedule's just been out of control. And today, I told my wife that I got to do all this cleaning, and she helped me out with a ton of cleaning. And it was awesome. And then I literally just had this oh shit moment, and then I saw your messages. So, but yeah,
All good.
man,
Yeah.
any
All
other
good,
time
man.
just let me know, and then I'll
100%, man.
So,
For
thanks.
sure. Well, thanks for coming on, and thanks for those guys stuck it out all the way through 2 hours worth of this live. We really appreciate it. Look forward to
the first hour of just us talking.
we don't have any plans for next week, but we'll see where it goes.
Yes, we do.
Yes, sorry.
It's
Yes,
crazy
Apparently
and
Chris-
amazing.
apparently Chris has some plans.
I
But
do.
thanks for
doesn't
joining
really-
us, and thanks for tuning in every week.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy. Cheers.
Having me. All right.
Cheers.
See ya. Cheers.